Okay. Hi, Ruth. And
Hello,
everybody.
Kim.
Hey, it's so wonderful to have you. I'm very excited to have you joining me today. I know you, we met in Mount Shasta, but I met you before then. And then I, you told me about a year ago or so that you were working on a book. And so we're here to talk about that because it's out. It's at Amazon, it's at Barnes and Nobles, and I'm so pleased to have you here talking about that.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited about it.
Oh, good.
I'll
I
show it
want
to
everybody
you.
to, oh, good. Yes.
It's written in both English and Spanish. I speak Spanish. I speak 4-year-old Spanish. So someone helped translate it for me. But it's called, in Spanish, Te amo diez. And in English, it's called I love you 10. And it's about a child who wants to, who should I just tell you how I started with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I have questions about like, have you ever written a book before? What made you write the book? So yes, go ahead.
Um, I have written or started to write several books, but this is the first uh, book like this for children, a picture book. I couldn't think of that word, picture book. Maybe I need to cross myself over, get my energy so I can speak correctly. But it's the first children's book, and so I illustrated it. Also, I used to be an artist, or thought I was going to be an artist when I was young, and then I stopped doing it. I stopped doing art because I thought that well, I just had children, and I had a big family, and I used to do oil paints, and um, oil paints have kind of this caustic turpentine, and I just thought, oh, well, that's done. And I started writing. I started writing screenplays and then books. And then during COVID, this story came. And this story came from when I was a teenager. I had a girlfriend, and her sister's son, just a little guy, and the biggest number in his world was 10. He had just learned to count on his fingers. And so
Yeah.
he came up to his mother and said, I love you, 10. And that was his biggest number. And so I thought about that often, and it just stuck to me, for some reason. And then when my kids started growing up, when they would go off to school, I love you, 10. And they knew the story about the little kid, how that was the biggest number, in that kid's world. It's like saying I love you, infinity. And so during COVID, I started drawing the pictures for that story that I had been thinking about all this time. And
Wow.
it's about, I think about that little kid, but in the story, it's not really a boy or a girl. So a boy or a girl could think, oh, I've had people read it and say, oh, it's a little girl. And I've had people read it, it's a little boy. So that they can say, any child can think, oh, this is
Oh,
stories about me.
wow. Wow. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So I started writing it, and I drew it over COVID. And what came to me was kids just need to understand love. So much of the time, love, especially in media, is just about parental love or sex. Mostly like sex and passion is considered love. And sex is part of love, but it's not just the only thing that there is in love. So I wanted to show that there's many kinds of love, and that we can love anybody. And so I started to, uh, the first kind of love was like creator love. And so the child wants to count 10 kinds of love for every finger on their hand. And as the day progresses, they say, oh, there's mommy daddy love, there's sister brother love, and it goes on. But then it gets to the end of the night, and she says, oh, is it okay? I think of her as a her. Is it okay that I only counted, they're having a fire. They're around a fire. And is it okay? I only counted 9 loves. And then on the last page there, or next to the last page, sorry, the script sticking together. She's in bed with her parents, and they said, she goes, "Oh, I know the 10th one, I love me." And
Yes,
I
I
thought
love me.
that was so important. And that came to me. That wasn't from me. I felt like that was a download. And to love ourselves.
Yeah, I'm getting the
Um,
chills as you're saying that. Oh,
yeah. If a child can understand, it's okay. Because I think in our culture, we think it's not okay somehow.
ego or something.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm all that. No, we need to love ourselves. In the Christian tradition, it's the greatest commandment, to love God and to love your neighbor as yourself. So those are like three things. And God's saying, yes, you need to love yourself. So
Wow.
that's not ego driven or whatever.
Right. Right. Wow. Oh my gosh. I mean, first of all, just even your artwork is
Oh, thank
beautiful.
you.
Really. I mean, that's talent. Ruth, your talent. I want
Thank
you to
you.
sell 1,000,000 copies. I
That'd
mean,
be
my
great.
copy is before it was totally finished. And so I looked at it again today, and it was really, it's just so heartwarming. It just makes you feel good. And this is what I'm assuming now. So who's the audience for? Is it for adults or children or?
Well, I'm hoping, adults will have a child that's sitting next to them on the couch, or, a little kid on the lap, and they're just reading that to them. But as they read it, then they understand the adults. So many of us are walking wounded, So I'm hoping that adults read that as they read it to the child, say, oh, I need to love myself. And I feel like it's so important at this time, especially because I feel like the world is shifting. Don't you think so? That we need to all upgrade at this time.
We do.
We think
Yeah.
about like the Mayan calendar, as it says, it's a time of changing. Other times, there's just, the world is changing, like our magnetic field is changing. Like they're having to give the airplane and traffic controllers recalibrate magnetic north all the time.
I've heard that.
And that's a whole different thing. And like the Schumann resonance is let me see what it's called. It's the Schumann resonances are the frequencies produced by the electromagnetic waves in the Earth's lower ionosphere, and they are changing. And what does that mean? I mean, some people are kind of going, the sky is falling or stuff like that. And it's not meant to that. We need to bring our resonance. In the Christian tradition, we believe like Jesus is going to live with us again at some point, of which I'm a part. And so I feel like we need to prepare for change. It's coming, whether you're believing, the mediums and astrologers are also saying that there are changes coming. So does that mean we get upset? Or no, I feel like we need to just kind of prepare our hearts, right?
Yes. Prepare our hearts.
To upgrade. And I mean, and we can do preparing, like I have a 72-hour kit, have some food storage. I mean, we can do stuff like that, and anybody can do that, and it's probably smart, but it's more like we need to change our hearts. We need to learn to love maybe someone who's hurt us, forgive someone, love the unlovable, and forgive the unforgivable. What would it be like if Putin understood that we are all lights connected?
Yes. I think because love is one of the highest, maybe the highest vibration, right? It's the healing vibration. It's, I think, the vibration of creation. We all came from love. And so this is actually such a timely book. I Love You 10. I bet we could even go up to 100. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We actually our kids started playing with the number, and it got to be 2010. It got to be that number, which isn't really a real number, or at least not said correctly. But if think about Abraham's two sons, Isaac and Ishmael, who are now fighting in the Middle East. I mean, what would
Yeah.
it be? I'm just feeling this really strong like that. Like so many people were to pray and send physical light and love to Vladimir Putin, to
Yes.
the
Yes.
Palestinians, to the
Yes.
Israel citizens,
Yes.
and just say, I love you, or do I forget what it's called, the ho'oponopono. I can have too many,
Oh,
but where you
Ho'opono.
say,
Yeah.
I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you.
Thank you.
That same from the
Right.
Hawaiians, from the Hawaiian Islands, and I'm sorry I don't have the information of the guy who started that. But
He kind of escapes me right now, but I think most of the audience will know about that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and if someone wants to put it in the comments, they can, because that will help if for us to get it right. But he went to a place where an insane asylum on the islands, and where the people were so violent and no one would even wanted to go there. And he just went and took the names of the people and just started saying that. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you.
Right.
And it said the whole tenor of the place changed.
Right. Right. He would look at their charts, the name on their charts.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, when I heard that story, I thought, oh, that's so beautiful. And if we can literally say those words, to Vladimir
Mm.
Putin, or in my generation, what my parents went through, Adolf Hitler, did he understand who he was? Did he feel love? What would it be if we sent love to our enemies, if we were
Yeah.
able to forgive them?
Exactly. And I think this is where we're going. We are moving that way
Yes.
to a much more loving society. I don't know when. But yes, and so again, this is so timely. This is exactly where we are. And I have to say, I mean, I love that it's gender neutral. It's also ethnic neutral because there's a variety of ethnicities in here.
Yeah,
Um,
the child descends, it has four grandparents of a Caucasian grandparent, a Hispanic grandparent, Asian grandparent, and African American or African grandparent. And this child is just a mix of all those things. And I think if we can just stop seeing that, like the newer generation kind of doesn't. I feel like our newer generation's like, what was this with what? What were you guys a prejudice against what?
I know. I agree. Exactly. It is. Yeah. So, um, so I just think it's remarkable that you have put this together. And I know you have children. I don't know how many. Can you tell us how many children you've got?
I have 8 children. I have
Oh,
3 boys and 5 girls. I have 5 grandchildren. They're lovely human beings, and
mm,
they don't all follow my same religious practices, which is fine because we all came down to earth wanting to learn certain things. And I just tell them the most important thing is that you love and forgive, and try to make the world a better place.
hmm. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And I have to say, before we went on the air, we talked about a grand niece of yours that passed recently, 2 days ago.
Mhm.
And would you mind sharing her story?
Um, she was born, I'm going to get the initials wrong. She was born with a genetic thing where um, at around 5 or 6 months, her parents started noticing she became very flaccid, and pretty soon she couldn't hold her head up. And um, they gave her to about 15, 18 months to live, and with this genetic condition. And she lived, I think, through the care of her parents and prayers, and then the medical technologies. Um, she lived to be 15. She just had her 15th birthday, and she got to go to a Taylor Swift concert. People in her community paid to have her go, and her parents, to this concert.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
and that was her second one. This first one, Taylor Swift met her and was kind to her. And just, I feel like one of the reasons she was her soul contract, I feel like before we come to earth, we have soul contracts of things that we choose that we want to accomplish and what
Yeah.
we want to do to help people and to learn. And Lucy was just a light. She's just a light. And she has two other siblings who are just coming into young adulthood, and just taught them how to love. And her church community, her school community, she went to regular school. She just taught people how to love and
Wow.
gave them the opportunity to love someone unconditionally. And
Yeah.
I just feel like she's so happy in heaven and free from, because she was in a wheelchair most of her life, that she's
Yeah.
free. It's going to be a challenge for us left behind. It's like a parent having a kid go away to school for a very long time until we meet up again.
Yeah. Mm. Wow. And what an angel she is,
Yes.
besides being all love.
And she'll be watching over everybody, because she was kind of sassy and fun and loved to have her
Uh-huh.
fingernails painted. She was very smart, just her body didn't work. And so
Oh
her
my
mother's
goodness.
Facebook, she would always say, "I love Lucy."
Oh,
Just, yeah.
that's great. Oh, wow. I mean, what, and giving all love, like you say, she came down to share love.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and to teach us, to teach
Yeah.
us. If we let,
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of these kids that are coming in that are like autistic and different things, they're teaching us to love and to have patience and to forgive. And we just need to raise our vibration. And I'll tell you a story. I have a friend who is a social worker. She's a therapist, and she works for the government in a nearby city. And so she'll have these parents and kids come in that are in deep trauma, deep trauma. And so she has a child who's living in foster care, that she was counseling. And so she recently got the book, and the child saw it and read it. She's old enough to read herself, and read the book. And through reading the book, she just loved it. So she drew, oh, I wish I would have printed it. She had a picture of a fox, and it said animal love. Animal love is one of the loves in the book. And she read it and just loved, and it kind of made a difference for this child who's going through trauma and does therapy, is doing therapy with my friend. So it made a difference to her, and I was like, oh, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted.
Wow. Well, the thing is, that's beautiful. Really. I feel when I read this book again, um, even it's a short book, but it feels big. It feels large, and I feel like the message is so important. And I'm getting the chills all over. You know, you had your angels helping you write this. You have your
Yes.
writing angels. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's the aunts and uncles love, the mom and dad love, the romantic love, the friend love, the dog love.
And the animal
I
loves, there's ants
nature,
in there. There's ants and flies in the animal.
the animals. Yeah, I mean, really, it's just beautiful. Um, I think it should be for every child in every child's bookcase. I really do.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
I- Yeah. Um, and I mean, it is such a service that you've done, really, because it spreads out. Love spreads out. And if everybody could love like you, then it would be such a better world of harmony and peace.
That's what we want. We want to raise the vibration of the planet to the love the light. And there's many other people who are doing the same thing and are writing other things. I feel like people are stepping up all over.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And
Well, thank you. And do you have another book planned?
in that genre, I do. I have one that's called Puppy Wants a Child. And it has it's a new puppy that's stuck in a trash can, and an older dog who can't find his owner. You know, the old dog teaches the young dog how to own a child.
Oh my gosh.
And then you turn, let's say if this is the front of Puppy Wants a Child, then you would turn the book upside down, and then it would be Child Wants a Puppy. And then the child learns. So it's kind of like learning how to exhibit love. So this one was like, this is all the different things in and this is the Spanish one, Te amo diez. This one's teaching that you can love, you know, here it is where they invite the children that over to love. And so this is saying you can love everyone. And then the next book is how to love, like we serve and we protect.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Everybody needs this. Everybody around the world. Everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Oh,
would like to get in other languages. So maybe I will. It's just I only know Spanish. So
yeah. It, hmm. Yeah,
but it's
thank
not
you. Oh
hard.
my,
It's not hard to translate. And I do have Korean neighbors across the street that I love, and she said that she would help me translate it in Korean. So that would be
oh
fun.
my
I
gosh.
can say saranghayo, which means I love you in Korean.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Thank you. Well, Ruth, I'm blessings to you. And I know we've got holidays coming up, and I'm sure you're going to have share a lot of love over the holidays.
A lot of the kids
Oh,
are coming into town for Thanksgiving
oh my goodness.
and
Yes.
grandkids. So,
Yeah. Wow. Oh, well, thank you so much. And I love you, Ruth. Thank you for being here.
and I love you, Kim. You're just a
Uh,
light. You're just a light
uh,
in the world.
uh, no, you are, dear. So I'm so blessed. So
Thank you so
thank you.
much.
Thank you so much.
And I love
Okay,
you,
everybody.
Tim, everybody. I love
Don't
you all,
forget,
everybody watching.
everybody. Amazon and by Ruth Baird, Baird. Amazon and Barnes and Nobles.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Bye bye, everybody.
Love you.